Welcome back to J.L. Smith, the Wind Specialist. I'm Jeff Smith. As a part of our ongoing series of interviews with repair technicians, I had the opportunity to sit down and interview Larry Mueller. Larry's an oboe specialist based in Kingsport, Tennessee. Let's go talk to him now. Larry, it's great to see you.
You too, Jeff.
Thanks so much for inviting us up to your shop.
Yeah, we love it here and glad you can make it up.
It's always so fun to know somebody for years and then finally get to see them in their working environment.
Yeah,
and all of us have our own different types of styles of working, the way we even set up our benches and what equipment we have in our shop. And I love how you're rigged up here. It's very sweet.
I've always liked homey for a shop.
It's great. It's great.
Yeah.
I know that you moved from San Antonio area to this area and a couple years ago. And so how's it been going since then?
It's going great. Yeah, I'm surprised at how quickly things have kind of snowballed here.
Yeah.
And how much of my work followed me. I do a lot of pro oboe work, and it's
really an oboe specialist that you would...
Yeah, oboe and clarinet. I enjoy clarinet as much. It's an easy oboe as far as the repair goes. They're usually granadella, and it's just an easier mechanism, and so I enjoy doing both. And the type of work, the crack repairs, and putting in cork pads on either instrument is very similar. Right. So I enjoy working with those two.
When you started in the trade, did you have a structured or formal learning of any sort? Or
sort of. My oboe teacher, I'm from Toledo, Ohio, he taught for the whole Board of Education there. His name's Ed Blado, and he's still around up there. He did a lot of the repairs because he had to, and he told me that he knew I wanted to be a professional oboist, and he said I might as well learn what I could, so I learned quite a bit from him. I was putting on tenon corks and the occasional pad around the band hall in high school. And we didn't really have an oboe repairman up that way, and he said most big cities wouldn't, and that's still true today. Most big cities don't have really a specialist, even if they have a major orchestra. And
so because of that, a lot of people will ship you there.
Yes, probably the bulk of my stuff gets shipped, especially the oboe work.
What's the typical profile of the client then that you're working with?
Usually a college or professional. A high school student's more likely to try to find a local shop, even if things aren't as competent. If I do get a high schooler or middle school student instrument, it's because their teacher recommended me.
Right.
So there's somebody at the serious oboe level that's involved in getting the instrument to me.
So you've got your network.
Yeah. It's sort of a niche, and I chose to live in a little town of 50,000 now, and so I was set up for where I wanted to be for retirement later, and the works followed me.
Nice. So you won't be able to retire?
No, I'm too busy now. It was nice when I first got it. It took a little while to find me, you know.
So would you say your typical instrument then is going to be a professional model instrument?
Yes, the local work is starting to come around, and I'm seeing some more student line stuff. It's a little different than it was in Texas. Texas is the best music education state in the world. It's a real big deal down there, and I saw buffet clarinets at the middle school level all the time. And you don't see that in the small towns. So I'm seeing a little more of a range of quality.
Now,
but
what's the typical job that you would see from somebody, say, that's mailing an instrument from 3 states away?
Half of them will be just basic maintenance because they're afraid to even send a small job to take it to a local store for an oboe. And the other half will be something serious, like a crack repair. I do a high volume of crack repairs, and tone hole inserts, pinning, that sort of job.
Do you have a particular job that you really enjoy seeing coming in the door? Something you look forward to tomorrow that might be on the schedule?
A professional clarinet overhaul. I really enjoy that. Yeah. And some of the oboe work too. But to me, still the toughest thing is a crack repair. So I'm always, if I get too many of those going at once, and we're about to that season too, with the cold weather, that gets a little nerve-wracking.
Do you find that trends at all? Do you see like a flood of crack repair for a few months at a time and then nothing?
Yeah, it's usually after the first cold spell. And there's debate about whether it's humidity in the instrument causing it, dry weather. I do think that affects it. And also just the cold weather. I know that from working in busy music stores. The clarinets with cracks would come in after about 2 weeks after the first ball game, the halftime show. In cold weather, we'd see the cracks. I don't think the kids would notice it right away, so you wouldn't see it the next day. Yeah. It'd be kind of a couple-week lag.
Well, and you've been in this industry for a number of years. Have you seen any changes over the course of those years in the amount of instruments that might crack as a percentage, or any other type of maintenance things that you see more so now or less now?
I hear from dealers. I haven't worked directly as a warranty guy for dealers a whole lot, but I hear from them that the wood it does crack more and more severely than it did. So
maybe something where they're not aging, seasoning the wood.
I suspect. My reputation around the country has grown, so I'm seeing more of this, so I don't know how much of it has to do with my reputation growing and how much of it is just it's more of a problem now. I don't know. I don't really understand the dynamics of that, but I do know it keeps me busy.
Yeah, well, that takes a staff of statisticians.
Yeah. I don't know how we'd ever figure. And the amount of crack repairs I do, and sometimes I see somebody else's crack repair that I have to kind of reseal. Mm-hmm. How many of mine aren't holding up that the person took to a repairman on the other side of the country? Right. I don't know. It would be, and how we'd ever get the stats on that, I don't know. Yeah. It'd be interesting.
In what other ways have you seen the business change, not just your business, but the industry as a whole, the repair side of the industry specifically?
It's my understanding there are more people getting advanced degrees in music than ever, even though there aren't the jobs to support that. I see a lot more Larry oboes and buffet clarinets than ever before. I think they're being produced more than ever before. And so there are people at that level. So it's grown. The quality of the instruments has changed. Some things for the better, some not. The market certainly flooded in a way it wasn't. There aren't just a few brand names there were. The internet has really changed things in sales of instruments and pricing. And it is more difficult to get people to understand the price you need to charge for the professional line stuff. Mm-hmm. And those kind of customers will always appreciate, spending hundreds of dollars to get something fixed, whereas somebody who bought a flute or clarinet online for $169, they can't even afford a quality overhaul job on an instrument like that. So you kind of have to weigh all that and what kind of a market are you going after and what kind of work are you going to do. You want your work to be quality, but there's got to be some give and take there. So
right. For those technicians out there watching this video, is there a special tool that you couldn't live without, one that you are really proud of, that you would never want to lose?
I don't want to get out of range of the camera here, but I just had in my hands one of your spring hooks.
Oh, okay.
Working on oboes and piccolos, sometimes you can get the spring in there, but then how do you get the spring hook back out? It never occurred. I made my own once and I broke it, where I just made it skinny enough to be able to turn it sideways and pull it out. It never occurred to me to make that out of flat stock. Mm-hmm. So you can just turn it and it's skinny enough to get it out if you have two springs together, and you can get it in and out between there. Yeah. So that's definitely a favorite tool.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah.
Thanks.
And then other favorite tools are more expensive than that. A lathe and a mill, I couldn't live without. That's not the bulk of your work. As a woodwind repairman, you're going to be gluing pads and corks, mm-hmm. and learning how to level pads and all. Those are the most important things.
That's
and that'll
be 80%.
Yeah, I think 95. Yeah. But somebody in the shop should learn. These instruments are made. They're spun. A trumpet, a clarinet. Everything's round on it almost. Yeah. So some way to spin parts.
Right.
And the knowledge to do that. I think somebody in the shop should be able to do that.
And do you think that's going to become even more necessary as there's a proliferation of brands and
yes, it is.
Part shortages on certain models?
I'm a one-man shop. I've worked in shops where we stocked the hinge rods for Yamaha, Clarinet, and Selmer, and Buffet, and all the different parts, and you reach over to the drawer that says that on it, and you pull one out, and that's great. In a one-man shop, with the volume of work I do, I can't afford to stock everything. It's oftentimes easier for me to make a rod or a post or something than it is for me to try to reach the right person at the company and wait months for the right part to come in. And so I think that's important. And also, a lot of these instruments are made in China now, and it's my understanding they're made in a few factories over there, and the factory that makes a part for X brand instrument might not be the same the next year. They might accept a bid from another company. Sure. And so the parts aren't as interchangeable sometimes as they used to be.
So is your recommendation that at least in every shop, if not every technician, there should be at least one technician in a shop that has some machinist?
Yes. And using this mill is not an everyday event, and it takes time to set it up and a lot of training. And so maybe not every person in the shop needs to do that, but I would encourage more of that, certainly.
Well, I think we'll see that. I've seen interest in that, a lot of discussion I've had with technicians. So I expect we'll see that coming. I see more classes popping up with
I do
training
too.
on lathe work and mill for the technicians. So,
and that's the fun part too. I know you've done a lot.
Well, it looks like you're having a lot of fun here. And we'll let you get back to work. And thank you so much.
All right. Well, thank you.
All right.